Ferdowsi, a great Iranian poet mostly known as the savior of the Persian language. This may be a bit of an exaggeration, but he certainly played an important role in preventing the Persian language from dying out by writing the Epic of Kings, or Shahname. So today I want to tell you a love story. It's not about Ferdowsi in Persian, it's about Bijan and Manije. A lovely short story among the heroic battles of Shahname. Okay, so it's a beautiful spring day and Khosrow, the king of Iran, is listening to people's complaints. One of them comes from the north of the country, near the borders between Iran and Turan. Turan was a big country in Central Asia ruled by Afrasiab. And in Shahname, Iran and Turan are always fighting. Anyway, the man says there are a lot of wild boars there in our region, and they attack us and our farms, and we don't know what to do with them. Well, now someone should go fight the boars. Who does Khosrow choose? Two of the best fighters, Gorgin and Bijan. Gorgin is a mean and opportunist person, while Bijan is just a naive young man looking for adventure and fame. So when they arrive at the borders, Gorgin scares. He hides and leaves Bijan alone to die. But Bijan fights bravely, kills all the boars, and survives. Looks like he's a real hero. But now he's gonna tell everyone what Gorgin has done. So Gorgin thinks, how can I lay a trap for him? First, he compliments Bijan's bravery and talks a lot about his amazing fighting talents. Then suggests that they go and secretly visit the garden of Princess Manije, Afrasiab's daughter. Well, it looks dangerous to Bijan, but he tries to persuade him. زمین پرنیان و هوا مشک بوی گلاب است گویی مگر آب جوی پری چهره بینی همه دشت و کوه ز هر سو نشسته به شادی گروه منیژه کجا دخت افراسیاب درفشان کند باغ چون آفتاب همه رخ پر از گل همه چشم خواب همه لب پر از می به بوی گلاب. Bijan accepts. When they reach the Manije's camp, Gorgin pushes Bijan to go further and find the girl and thinks, the sun and the moon can't enter the camp of Afrasiab's daughter, let alone Bijan. He escapes while Bijan is hiding behind a tree, sneakingly looking for Manije. Manije sees him and becomes curious. Who is this rude to approach the court of women? منیژه چو از خیمه کردش نگاه بدیدان سهی قد لشکر پناه کلاه تهم پهلوان بر سرش درفشان ز دیبای رومی برش. So Manije's maid goes to Bijan and asks him, who are you? What are you doing here? And you're very handsome? پیام منیژه به بیژن بگفت همه روی بیژن چو گل برشکفت. When he hears Manije's message, his face blossoms like a flower. So Bijan is invited in and they fall in love at first sight. Wait, it's just the beginning. After 3 fabulous days in the garden and having a lot of fun together, now it's time for Manije to go home. But she can't just leave Bijan. No, your father is the king of Turan. I won't come with you though. Manije gives him a drink and he passes out. They wrap him in some clothes and take him to the palace. After a few days, Bijan wakes up and, surprise, you're in the palace of the enemy. He's very scared, but Manije calms him. No one has seen us, don't overthink, and let's just enjoy being together. But how can you hide such a big thing? One of the guards notices that there's a man in the palace. So he thinks, if they find the man, I'll be in trouble. It's better that I tell them myself. بیامد بر شاه ترکان بگفت که دختت ز ایران گزیده است جفت. He tells the king, your daughter has chosen a partner from Iran. It's a horrible moment for Afrasiab. He detests the Iranian. So he orders his brother Hafez to go with a band of armed men into the women's palace. The music is playing, girls are dancing, Manije sitting on a golden throne, Bijan beside him. Everyone everyone happy when Garcivaz arrives. He breaks the door and goes in, everyone horror-struck. ز در چون به بیژن برافکند چشم بجوشید خونش به رگ برز خشم. When he looks Bijan in the eye, blood starts to boil in his veins. Bijan doesn't behave as Garcivaz wants. He says in a kind of cocky tone that if you want to fight me, okay, I'll fight every single one of you and beat you. But obviously, Garcivaz doesn't bother to fight. It's a very painful scene. Just know that Garcivaz takes Bijan to Afrasiab. And Manije, she's desperate and helpless. No one listens to her. Afrasiab has had some terrible failures against Iran, and the only thing he can think about is revenge. Kill him. They're going to kill Bijan when Piran, the great hero of Turan, arrives. When he hears the story of the lovers, he feels very sorry for them. But he's a politician, he can anticipate the revenge circle, and he knows that Turan isn't ready for a new war. So he suggests, put him in prison and let the earth hide him. Iran will never know where he's vanished. So they do it. Now Bijan is trapped in a deep well covered by a big stone so that no one can help him. ز سر تا به پایش به آهن ببست بر و بازوی و گردن و پای و دست. And Manije, she can no longer live in the palace. Her father says, my dear, go walk to your lover and stay with him forever. Manije walks to the well, alone, sick and barefooted, to watch his lover die. Thank you, Piran. Great help. Now, Bijan will definitely die there, and Manije can do nothing but moaning and weeping. Are they turning to Romeo and Juliet? But Manije doesn't lose her hope. She finds a little hole in the stone, a way to keep Bijan alive. Then on days she goes to the city to find some food, and at nights she tries to talk to Bijan and keep passion and hope alive in his heart. But what about Gorgin? Well, he waits a week, and when he hears no news of Bijan, he feels guilty that he has left him alone twice. But then he sees Bijan's horse coming, and he knows that Bijan has died. So he comes back to the king and tells him everything. But maybe not everything. Everyone believes him except Giv, Bijan's father, who insists that his son is very strong and he can't just die like this. So Keykhosro, the king, brings his crystal ball and sees Bijan in it, trapped in the depth of a well, and a girl from Turan trying to help him. And now Rustam enters, the courageous hero of Shahname, who's also Bijan's mother's father. Rustam and his friends travel to Turan in the dress of merchants to see if they can find Bijan. The news spread across the country that some merchants from Iran have come. When Manije knows that they're Iranian, she finds them and tells them the story. Rustam doesn't reveal his identity because he doesn't know this girl and it might be a trap. But he gives her a roasted chicken to give to Bijan. Inside it, he puts his ring. نگه کرد بیژن به خیره بماند از آن چاه خورشید رخ را بخواند که ای مهربان از کجا یافتی خورش ها که از این گونه بشتافتی بسا رنج و سختی که آمد به روی ز بهر منی در جهان پوی پوی. Bijan looks up. My love, how did you find this food? Now you're suffering because of me all the time. I would have never found the ring if I was starving in the bottom of a dark well, but Bijan does. بخندید خندیدنی شاهوار چنان کامد آواز بر چاه سار. He laughed like kings. His voice echoed in the well. Are you laughing? Manije is surprised. He tells her, this is Rustam. He's gonna help us. We're gonna be free. So go and ask him what's the plan. Rustam tells Manije, in the middle of the night, light a fire next to the well. We'll follow the fire and find you. She does. Rustam finds the well, pushes the stone aside, throws a rope into the well, and before pulling Bijan out, asks him to forgive Gorgin. Bijan refuses. I want to kill him. So Rostam says, okay, that's your choice, it's none of my business, except if you don't forgive him, I won't help you come out. So suddenly he decides to forgive Gorgin, and Rostam brings him out. They send Manije to Iran because they have some other errands to do here. Then Rostam, Bijan, and other heroes attack the Afrasiab's palace and set it on fire. Bijan returns home in the warm welcome of Iranians, and Kaykhosro the king sends countless precious gifts to the new couple, and finally Bijan and Manije get married. So at the end, it's not just Bijan who gets rid of the well, but also Iranians get rid of the boars, Gorgin gets rid of his evil character, our lovers get rid of lust and find true love, and love gets rid of the grudges.